as it comes to the PulseChain ecosystem, so we have had a very nice pump, started on Sunday and really rounded out yesterday into today. Pulse is up at 40% off the SAC rate right now. Pulse X is at that 84% off by the looks of it. Still, in automatic buy mode for me. And Hex combined right at about that 1.5 cent mark total. So we, looking at our ecosystem, I don't really think we need to touch too much on what's going on with Bitcoin because, it's kind of just doing the same thing it's been doing. But as far as the Pulse ecosystem, we've had a couple things happen that may have been, I think, in part catalysts for this. There's a lot of great stuff that's been going on that I want to make sure I highlight. And one of those is that gopulse.com, which is a good resource for onboarding into PulseChain. You can buy stuff there, you can connect to it, all these things. But they actually funded an article to be published in MarketWatch. They funded another one that just went out today in Yahoo Finance, which is the biggest one that they've done yet. But they've literally financed these articles on these huge finance platforms. So yeah, PulseChain article today in Yahoo Finance, which is just huge. And yeah, some of this kind of, reaching across the aisle, if you will, or making friends with people that maybe not already be in the community, this kind of networking is huge. And then I also saw B Roots, love him or hate him, on with Crypto Banter, Ran the other day. And Ran was talking to him a whole bunch about Solana and these things, talking about Bonk and all these other meme coins. And B Roots talked about how he was there to talk PulseChain and how he thinks it is the biggest opportunity as far as L1s go in crypto for this cycle. So what do you make of kind of those, more fundamental type things, Ewok, and about the price action we're seeing here?
Well, it's critical. I love what GoPulse is doing. The outreach that they understand that if they keep it in the echo chamber, all we're doing is just talking to ourselves, and there's not going to be any growth whatsoever. So I do like the fact that they've reached out and got on some of these presses. Yahoo Finance would probably be I don't know, but they're both going to be impactful, I think.
Yeah.
And then, with B Roots, that outreach, and I really like how he did it. He mentioned, was it Solana or?
Yeah. They were talking about Solana.
Yeah, he mentioned Solana and said, how it's pumping and it's doing a great thing. And then he kind of pivoted to, but here's what I think is going to make the biggest impact. So you don't want to tear these guys apart when you're talking about their stuff, or they're not going to listen to you. They're going to block you out. If you say, guys, I really like what you're doing over at Cardano, and I think there's another good play too, something along those lines of appreciating what they're doing, but also, introducing your opportunity as well. You never want to go in and say, well, you think shit and here's why, and then this is what's better, because you're gonna hurt their feelings, first of all, and then they're gonna block you out. So I like the approach that all these,
especially if you're David Hoffman from Bankless. You could kind of just say, like, I don't like the color of your T-shirt today, and the waterworks just start.
Right. They cry and the estrogen starts flowing, and
exactly.
It's crazy. But well, some of those guys, there are some people that you're not going to get through to, but I do like the approach, and I think more people need to kind of embrace that type of approach. And reach out to other people. I know there are people that do it, and that have always done it. And, in the early days, they kind of got shit on for their methods. Nicole Nerd Girl, her show used to be building bridges. And honestly, that's the approach that we need to take. You've got to build bridges with some of these other communities if you want to have them participate in our network, which we, think is not an Ethereum killer. It's a supplement to it, and it's supposed to help everybody that wanted to be over there but can't because their project's no longer, it's no longer economically. It doesn't make sense, when the fees cost so much money, and we're already approaching that point, and we haven't even started the major part of the bull run. So,
right.
Like I said, I think cross community is great for growth, and we need to do a lot more of that. But kudos to those guys. Go Pulse. Something else they did just today when Richard put out that tweet, and I don't know if you had planned on talking about that, but the tweet saying let's give some free Pulse out. Well, not long after that, KDP said something about somebody's already started it. Like it was within minutes.
Right.
And
Literally.
and then the Go Pulse guy said, "Hey, we're going to do something too." And she said, "Well, hey, let's do it all in one." He's like, "No, competition's better. Let's let people decide which one they want." So now they're going to do something as well. So it's just they're doing some great things, and yeah, people need to support them any way they can, whether it's just retweeting their stuff or using the products. I'm sure there's a way that they can tell metrics by usage, but yeah,
Right.
I like what they're doing. It's really cool.
The great thing about this too is, and you're right, all that stuff is cool, but this kind of stuff with this community has kind of been going on for 4 years. You know what I mean? So this has always been going on, even in the bear market, even though, obviously, yeah, you're going to see more tensions and stuff from weak hands and everything in a bear market. But this kind of behavior from a lot of the people in the community has always been there. And now when green candles come, the price starts going up and stuff like that, it really becomes noticeable.
Yep,
and it just,
for sure.
It feels 10 times better than it did in a bear market, because it's like, man, we're all moving up and everybody's winning together and everything.
Yep.
And it's just a cool thing to see for sure.
And it's amazing, this community, just the type of people and the developers and the intelligence factor that we have, and just the go and do it on your own kind of mentality now. Whenever this whole thing started, Richard's like, I don't work for you. You want it done, go do it yourself. So that mentality started a long time ago. For a lot of people, it was hard to build in a bear market. But you're totally right. And we get some green candles, you're going to see people building left and right, and it's going to be pretty cool. It could also be a little dangerous. So be careful of the snakes in the grass that will come out of nowhere as well. But you're going to see why this community is far above and beyond most others. It's going to be blatantly obvious here in 6-8 months.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. And to your point about B Roots when he was on with Rand, yeah, he didn't really bash Solana or anything. And I mean, it's a fair assessment to say, like, look, and this is what he said, like, everybody's already talking about Solana. He wasn't critical at all of like the blockchain, even though certainly there are things, and there have been things to be critical about over the last couple of years. But he just talked about the price, it's already pumping, and everybody's, I mean, everybody on crypto Twitter is already talking about it. So I think it's going to be one of those leading indicators, Solana, as we get into the next bull market, not necessarily like the opportunity to get in now. I think people have already been doing that,
Yep, exactly.
So, yeah, but awesome stuff, from a lot of people just reaching out and, getting involved with people from other communities and stuff. So definitely something I think we're going to continue to see happen for sure.